Communication with subtle worlds in astrology. With the onset of the terrible age of Kali, being in error, they look at their physical body as a soul. They are godless, to whom only the physical senses are accessible. Atma Upanishad says, "He who comprehends and makes a distinction in the actions of hearing, smelling, gravity is called the inner Atman." The inner Atman is known in the modern world as the subtle body of a person, the psyche, with the help of which a person is able to perceive and analyze all objects of the gross and subtle matter. In astrology, the human subtle body or mind body is represented by the moon. The moon is the emotional part of the mind, with the help of which a person is able to perceive the subtle world that surrounds a person in the form of energy vibrations, positive or negative, higher or lower. Mercury represents the analytical side of the mind, with the help of which a person can analyze the received information as well as influence the surrounding reality through mental work. Jupiter is the highest part of the mind, able to control the senses and the analytical mind. It leads to self-realization, represented by the Sun. Mars represents power of mind and vision, so its strength in the particular birth chart is very important for the analysis of any mystical matter. Venus represents mystery. Neptune also describes mediumship or spirit channeling. A receptive mind is needed to perceive subtle reality. To perceive the highest worlds, the receptive mind must be pure, because an impure receptive mind will contact the lower worlds and entities and receive strength from them. Purity of mind and heart is seen from the status of the moon and the ninth house from the moon. We must understand that the moon is the entrance, and if this entrance is blocked, we cannot achieve a good result even with a good ninth house from the moon. Therefore, we must carefully analyze the state of the moon. Some sahamas also indicate purity and impurity. Punya Sahama points to someone who is perfectly pure, holy. Kali Sahama literally means soft mud, dark age, black clouds. Daridrada Sahama, defect, absence. Here is an example. In this birth chart, the moon is aspected by a benefic Jupiter and conjunct Jupiter also in Navamsha. Thus, Vichitra Nadyamsha of the moon shows pure desire, motive, pure heaven, pure movement, and pure penetration. Ninth cusp from the moon is Sagittarius with benefic Jupiter there, which confirms the purity of the mind of the born person. The cusp of the ninth house from the moon is located in Nirmala Nadyamsha, which means the state of pure holiness. In this example, we see that the cusp of the ninth house is auspicious Sagittarius with Vargotama strong and auspicious Sun there, which gives mental purity. However, the moon, which is not malefic, is conjunct Rahu through Navamsha. Rahu, as you know, in a negative meaning, is a deception, an illusion, and this confirms the degree of his Navamsha, which means ineffective progress and even the end of progress. Saturn also gives an aspect to the moon, being in Kalakuta Nadyamsha, meaning morning mist on the top of a mountain, an ignorant servant of the sun, false direction, deceit, illusion of purity, persistent ignorance. Thus, a person will be sincere in his ignorance, and as a result of self-deception and illusion, he will find it difficult to progress further, since he can consider himself pure. Here are some examples of Nadyamsha showing the level of purity. Nadyamsha showing purity: Saumya, Chitra, Vichitra, Nirmala, Shobhana, Parameshwari. Nadyamsha showing impurity: Kalusha, Kali, Kalushankara, Kunjarakirti, Mala. Obsession with low entities begins through an open gate, an impure mind. Anxiety from spirits causing mental disturbances is often seen from the interaction of the sixth astrological house with Mercury afflicted by Rahu. Psychic abilities, mediumship. First house is innate nature. Third house is abilities, ears. Eighth house is a bunch of braided hair, the house of mystics. 10th house is angels. 11th house is ear. Moon is psyche, susceptibility. Mars is vision, strength. Venus is mystery. Jupiter, guessing other people's thoughts. Ketu, knowledge of Brahman. Rahu, strength. Neptune, mediumship. Through these tools, a person can have the ability to see and hear what others do not see or hear. 10th house, superiority over others. 12th house, reaching heaven. We are looking for confirmation in the Siddhamsha chart also. In this example, we see that the moon, which is sitting in the third house of abilities from Lagna, rules the fifth house from itself, the ability to foresee the future, and is located in the nakshatra of Ketu, which is in the eighth house from the moon in its sign, the hypersensitive Scorpio. Ketu is connected with Uranus there. The mind receives lightning insights, often sudden and unexpected. Ruler of the 8th house Mars, mystical vision, aspects the moon located in his sign Aries. Conjunction with Saturn indicates that the person will receive these revelations while in solitude. Auspicious Saturn permanence give 3 shrines, rules the 11th house Ea and the 12th house Heaven. A born person constantly hears heaven. The cusp of 8th house from the moon is placed in the benefic Nadyamsha Shiva, the highest truth, Brahmins who have reached a certain degree of perfection. On the cusp is mystical Venus from the Navamsha. Venus rules the 7th house from the moon, signifying that the born person will receive revelations through the sexual energies involved. Mars, which rules the 3rd house from Lagna and the 8th house from the moon, stays in the 1st house of Siddhamsha in the degree which points to the support of the angels, consciousness and feelings, as well as memory. Since Mars is located in the nakshatra of the ruler of the 9th house, past lives, from the moon of the main birth chart, Jupiter, a born person will remember his previous births. Mars is strong with mystical Ketu and Rahu in Siddhamsha, endowing the person with the power of mystical vision. So are the 3 worlds. Speech is this world, mind is airspace, breath is that world.